What is up, everyone? It is your head coach, Ryan, of the Draco Meteorologist, coming with you for our Week 8 matchup. First, I'd like to apologize. Our Week 6 matchup against Ian ended up being deleted. I recently got a new computer. Didn't end up uploading it right after the match, and then due to downloading Windows 11 on the same drive, it ended up everything on that drive got deleted, basically. So I'd like to apologize for that. You will not see that. Basically, what you missed was Uxie 6-0ing me, literally, with Substitute and Calm Mind. Had no answers for it. And I think I lost 4-0. I think I got 2 of his Pokemon, I'm pretty sure. But Palmont was one of the ones that got kills, I believe. I honestly forgot who the other one was. But let's go down to this week. So this week, Week 8, we play against Hotmons, or Booty Flute. He is the man, the myth, the legend, the gentleman who started this whole NBA league. So for that, I would like to thank him. Zach and I have always played against each other since before season 1 even. Always had really close matches overall. We're probably pretty close to 50-50. Recently, I've been getting the better of him, both in regular season and playoffs. This week, he preps a whole lot. Always nervous for these matches, so we're going to see how it goes. Admittedly, I think this is going to be a playoff matchup. So when I was making my team this week, I don't want to say I didn't think, but I was just doing what I think my team does best, right? So as you'll see throughout, I'm 3-3. This is not one of the strongest settings that I have done for a league. And I just kind of want to play to what my team's strength is supposed to be. So that is going to be setting up webs and kind of letting some of my slower Pokemon potentially take over some of his mid to high speed Pokemon that he's got there. But yeah, let's go straight into it. So I didn't do too much prep in terms of calc or trying to overthink things. I just wanted to do what I thought was best for my team so that I can maybe do some of the bigger brain things in playoffs. Because right now, if we end up actually looking at the standings here, I am currently actually in 6th place next to Keegan. And then we have Zach, who is in 4th. So I basically need to have a win here. If I lose against Zach, it actually could end up being where Keegan actually takes me for 5th. And then I play against the 3rd seed, which is likely going to be Ian. But again, this week I'm almost guaranteed playoffs unless I lose 2 in a row and Riley wins and gets a whole bunch of differential. So that is pretty nice. But otherwise, I do think that me and Keegan will kind of be vying for that 5th and 6th slot. But likely, I will play against Zach in playoffs, and I don't want to show too much here. So back into the actual team builder. First is going to be Palmot. If we look at Zach's entire team, he has no resistances to fighting moves. So this thing is 90% of the time going to click close combat. The only issue would be a Ghost Haunter, which Knockoff will end up killing even through Eviolite with a Life Orb, unless he's max health, max defense, which he has done before. I'm not gonna deny it, but I thought Hunter looked good offensively into my team, so I don't think that is going to happen. I'm outspeeding him as long as he doesn't have a Scarf right now, is kind of the main thing. I didn't want to go with a speed tie with Mienshao, because I do end up having Sticky Webs this week, so if I get those up and I should outspeed Mienshao unless it has a Scarf. But also, I think that Petulant really walls Mienshao. That Knockoff is the only move that's going to actually hurt, and it's really not doing much. So I could see him not bringing it as well. But yeah, second, we've got Hitmonchan. Again, not a whole bunch of fighting resistance on Zach's team as an only Haunter. So I have another fighting guy right here. So I have Drain Punch to kind of keep myself healthy, Rapid Spin to get off those hazards, Ice Punch for kind of coverage, as well as Knockoff here as my last move. Actually, kind of looking at it now, I don't know if I want Ice Punch. I was doing calcs. I really only have it for Sandaconda, realistically, and Drain Punch basically was doing just as much. So in game, I might switch this up to like maybe a Brick Break. I am kind of afraid of screens of like Serperior or something like that. So if that changes, I wouldn't be too surprised. Otherwise, the Keyberry, which will raise my defense by 1, it'll be a really nice switch into Zach might U-turn a whole lot. Or flip turn, things that will hit me with a physical move. I'm able to get that +1 off of defense. I'm very defense heavily invested here. Getting +1 off of either a rapid spin and the -1. I don't really need to invest in speed, and this guy is going to be a little bit more bulky, getting up those drain punches. Really good Garganacl switching as well. Speaking of good Garganackle switch in, Torterra is going to be the main focus here. Garganackle doesn't have any moves to actually hit him. I didn't even go defense invested because my HP and defense stats are really good. I'm not too worried about it. The Covert Cloak is going to make sure that his Salt Cures do not actually hurt me. And then he's going to be pretty scared of both Earthquakes or Wood Hammers that are coming into him. I'm probably going to click Earthquake into him because I don't really want the recoil on Wood Hammer. This is here for a Vaporeon mostly. The last damaging item I have is Heavy Slam. For Haunter, I've got a good amount of special defense where as long as he doesn't have a boosting item, I should live 2 of his his Shadow Balls or Sludge Waves and things like that. So I can bring this in, do some damage, and then kill him back with a Heavy Slam. And lastly, Synthesis. This is a little bit more of a defensive build, so I have Synthesis to kind of stand in front of the Garganackles, stand inside of the Mucks, the Vaporeons, and things like that. We do have Petrant coming back this week. Last week he did not make an appearance. Another just defensive build. I elected to go with special defense because I could see Cyclozar coming and it being the main spinner, doing something like trying to do like a Choice Specs Draco Meteor or something like that, which was showing a 2-hit KO if I didn't have any special defense invested. So I decided to go a little bit more special defense. It already has really good bulk in its defense where it's fine to do that. Destiny Bond was kind of my last move where right now I am invested a good amount of speed to make sure that I outspeed most of his team at -1. So if it is something where I feel like I am going to die, I can do like a cheeky Destiny Bond, which I haven't brought this week. Otherwise, the classic 3 moves. The other thing I was thinking of was Parting Shot, but I think Garganackle is a really good switch into this, and I could also see him bringing a Covert Cloak so to make sure he doesn't get Toxic or Malignant Chained. Well, he actually can't. So, but anyways, Clear Amulet was the item that I was thinking of. So I could see Clear Amulet being a thing, or as well as Superior. Anytime I lower it, it actually raises, so he could get just +1 right off the bat. Don't necessarily want that, so I ended up just electing for Destiny Bond here. We got Vikavolt coming in this week. I think he looks really good as just a guy who's just going to click buttons. I think Alolan Muck can come in and and kind of resist this a lot. My special attackers, I could very well see an Assault Vest for Alolan Muck. Getting off a discharge is really nice, and I can bring in either Little Mac, who can kind of resist a lot of those physical attacking. I don't expect it to do too much. Worst case scenario, I get poisoned, but again, I will have that Drain Punch to kind of get back into it. I think Alolan Muck is almost like a must bring into this, but otherwise, this is going to be great into most of his team, hitting Superior, hitting Vaporeon, hitting Sandaconda, hitting Garganackle, these things that are normally physically defensive, bring in the special attacking threat. I also do have Sticky Webs, something that I'm likely going to click right away. I don't think I'm going to lead it unless I see Zach's team where I feel like it's a really safe lead. But that's going to be the main thing, is this is going to be able to come in. It also comes in on glares really well, so things like Sandaconda and Superior, this switches in extremely well, is another reason why I have it. And it threatens, I ended up not bringing Bug Buzz, which might bite me in the ass. I thought the Energy Ball looked really good. I might switch it out of Volt Switch, but Volt Switch looks pretty good too. I don't exactly know, but Bug Buzz looks really good into Serp if he does go a substitute set, which he hasn't done this season yet, so I'm not 100% sure on it. Finally, we got our Clawitzer. I want this thing to get some more KOs. I don't think I've been using it good enough. It's just got, I've slapped some specs on it, and I have it relatively bulky. Zach's team isn't too offensive, where I should be able to live a couple of hits depending on the Pokemon, and this thing is just going to go back. Aura Sphere is going to deal a whole bunch of damage unresisted into his entire team. Water Pulse is going to do a lot of damage. I do have to be careful. Vaporeon does have Water Absorb. That is why I do have a U-turn, actually. And then a Dragon Pulse again. Unless he brings Fortress, this thing is also going to do unresisted damage. So that kind of rounds up the rest of my team. Again, Zach always brings in a whole bunch of wacky stuff. I'm excited to see what he does. But yeah, I will see you guys in that next video here.